this little puppy, this thing called Cobalt Flux, which may or may not be your favorite pad of choice, especially if you have access to a machine, unlike I do. The closest machine is like, public machine is kind of like Harrisburg, or somewhere in North Carolina, somewhere far away, which I can't do, and there's like no light in here. It's okay, I can see. You can't see me though. I'm invisible. Got my chill johns on. Chill. Anyway, I'm gonna take this apart now. Show you what the Flux is all about. I gotta take you through a few steps here. The one thing is, this bad boy. A lot of people like it, a lot of people don't. I have mixed feelings right now because it is very high humidity. And it seems to do bad things to my pad. What I mean by that is, I usually have to take some sort of like hard object, which is bad because this is lexan. I have to take it and I have to like take this and scratch off a filmy residue from the use of baby powder, which really sucks. You really shouldn't have to do that. It's bad for the lexan, and can't help it because when sweat mixes with baby powder, it's just a bad combination. Anyway, all this residue is actually from when a rod got caught in my shoe the other day, and so this has been flipped over, which I really do not like touching the metal panel because that is where ground is, and I have screwed this pad up before by messing with ground. So, I'm going to take this apart. I guess before I do, I can show you as much as I can of how flat this is. It's not exactly that flat, as you can tell. It's, it depresses actually quite a lot. Because it flexes so much. And, like, it actually depresses quite a lot. And so that kind of sucks. Because when you're like using your shoe and you're like going in, you can get like caught on that, or like if you're moving, you get caught on these stupid screws. And there's no way to play, in my opinion, without those screws, because then these little corners, you can get caught underneath that too. So let's not do that. So where's it taking the screws out? And these aren't in here very well, and they easily get stripped, and it's bad. What I usually do is, when I put it back together, I'll usually tighten it to, like, hand tightness, I guess, and then loosen it a tiny bit to decrease the pressure on the pad so it's not, like, as sensitive, because I have huge sensitivity problems. So that's actually, without the lexan, it's actually pretty beaten up, and it's kind of rough. But anyway, I gotta set this down for a second because I have to be very careful when lifting this up so I do not sever the wire that is in here and then not mess up the Velcro or bend the metal too much. Or I guess I could like set this. I can't see it, so I don't know if you have any perspective. And usually what I do is just like flip it over, like so. And I have had to actually mess with this where the wire has been exposed with electrical tape. This is what pennies do. There's not any way I can fix this, but here's my general layout underneath the pad as far as how I get my sensitivity the way I want it. So I have these. They're not as useful because you do not step there, but if you're pressing in the middle, which you kind of have to do, it helps a little bit. This is where I usually have my problems though. So what I've done here is added 2 extra pennies and covered them with electrical tape, which you can, well, not electrical tape, but that one right there. It's metal tape, so it's conductive. And I've placed these in very, very strategic positions because if I put it too close to this area or too far away, so if I put it too close, the pressure from the screws is so much tighter in the corners that the sensitivity is way, way too high, and it'll actually just false trigger. It'll go like this. The arrow will just be like, and it'll just like be crazy and stuff. And put it too far this way, there's no point in even using it because you're not going to be stepping right here. Well, that's the point of technique anyway. So, but these are for the left and right. It's different for the up arrow, which I'll get to in a second. And this has got to go back. So, I'm actually pretty fast at putting these back together. I wasn't actually holding cameras and stuff. Gotta make sure I put the right side on, so the next time I play it's not bad. So I'm going to sit here, like I said, and you're not going to be able to see any of this because I'm a dirt. And I dropped this because I got this between my legs. Oh my. Anyway, tighten it usually and just untighten it like 1/8 to 1/4 back. So just tighten it down. Alright. These are more important. The back screws aren't as important. Mainly because this area isn't censored. I mean, it is, but, you know. Alright. Then we go over to Adventure into up arrow. And I'm just going to like do this really quickly so that you can just see what the sensitivity is like in the up arrow. Because, I mean, it's very, 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 very difficult to get sensitivity in this arrow. Mainly, I can only hit here. For whatever reason. The left and right are much easier to apply sensitivity to. The up arrow is extremely difficult. And that is why I have really bad machine technique. Peace. Alright, so that one flips over that way, and it's just, I've done this just because it's worn down so bad. And it seems to work. And that's easily replaceable by more tape. Right there. So this is the way this one is set up. These are much, much closer. And it's covered in powder. This is actually one of the problems with the sensitivity right now, which I should fix. So under here, which I'll just brush off. Sometimes the powder will get underneath this and decrease sensitivity, and apparently I have done something to menu, which snap. Wait, if I could just like get back to input? Apparently not. If I'm sitting on the down arrow. Woohoo! Where's my input? Ah, no! There's a reason why I don't make that arrow sensitive, is because I like easy access to start. But if you hold it too long, it'll exit the song. Press the hold to exit or whatever. So anyway, these are much, much closer than the ones on the left and right. And I don't tighten these screws as much as I do these. Because you really, really want to step in this area, but as I'll show you in a second, there's a lot of dead space on this setup. The down arrow is very similar, except I do not have the 2 pennies there. I just have the ones at the bottom. It actually works out pretty well. So my down arrow isn't sensitive at all, really. And I'm just going to put this... I'll just set this right here. I doubt you'll be able to see anything except for like a wall. But it's better than black space, I guess. So yeah, the up arrow kind of sucks, but I try. I get a lot of crap on the up arrow, a lot of way-offs, comparatively to the other ones. So is the left, and I actually don't understand that. I think it's just the left arrow issue on this pad, because every pad has something that is tweaky or twerky about it. I don't know. Anyway, now, let's test dead space. So, for instance, on this arrow, I will be tapping right here, like this. So, please watch screen, which will be right there. And it will show you if you can see that. I am tapping really, really hard. I have to like hit it really, really hard for it to register. But that ends up actually being my palm hitting a different area actually. So anyway, that is this area right here, which is bad because I actually have no idea how to fix that. So anyway, I'm going to touch right here and right here. So let's see this. Easy enough. So that's where those other two pennies are. Of course, if you hit dead center, you don't even have to hit that hard. Like, you just have to... But that is like dead in the middle. Of course, it bends the most in the middle. So that's how that works. And so now I'm going to go to this up arrow. And I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to tap that in the middle. Please ignore the down arrow. I have to sit on it. So the up arrow is actually pretty sensitive in the middle. So I'm going to go to the sides now. Here. That doesn't work too well now, does it? This is one majority why I have problem with hands. Is that if I try... what's these flip-flops? Okay. If I try to like put my feet on the brackets, it's really, really iffy. I mean, I have to like curve my feet so much to do that. That button that is being pressed right now is actually the middle panel, which shouldn't work, but it does for some reason. Whee, zoom out. Okay, actually my feet are very, very small. They're very, very small. But I do not play barefoot, nor do I ever want to, or play in socks with these, because these things, they hurt. Alright, so that's that setup. Next, we will review the bar. Well, anyway, I have this covered with 2 towels for a very good reason. And I will remove them, because I need to show you some stuff. Alright, this bar is made with galvanized steel pipes. And this is actually very, very, very sharp. It actually hurts a lot, so you really don't want it. And that's like, ooh, you don't want to use the bar like that. It's not so good. So what the crap is this? Anyway, it's a 1" by 18" steel bar, and these are the joints. I needed 2 of those. This is how I built it. It's actually very expensive to build. I covered it with duct tape because I thought it was cool. And they're just lame pipes anyway. The height of this is 36 inches. However, that's not the total height. That's just the length from right here to the joint to the bottom joint. So I actually have this extra height here, which I thought 36" was pretty close to DDR height, but I'm not actually certain. This is a T joint here at the bottom, and this is better just because it sits flat on both sides of the joint instead of just curving one way. This way it can sit flat against the pad here. It actually doesn't affect anything there, so it's never really messed it up. Only problem is that it does move left and right, which is not supposed to move actually. And I used Teflon tape to attach these so I can get them undone. So then that connects to this bar, which is 30 inches. This could be any length that is fairly long. I just chose 30 inches. I was going to go 36 by 36, but 30 inches is cheaper. So then I did this. This is actually 3/4 of an inch of a bar, so I have an inch connecting to a 3/4 inch joint here. I did that just because this is also cheaper. And of course I have this backed all the way against the wall just because that's backed all the way there and that's backed all the way to that wall, so this pad does not move back and forth as much. And then I have it blocked off over there on that wall, and of course that wall. It looks dumb, but I really do not want these moving. That is a big thing for me. And so this is 16 inches, I think. Nuts. And yeah, I think it's all messed up. Yeah, I think it's actually 16 inches, and it just like widens. I'm weird. Yeah, it does, but it's okay. I'm not an engineer, okay? I'm a scientist. It works, and that's all I really care about. And it was my own experiment. I'm the only one who knows who's done this anyway, because no one plays on home pads anymore. And so, yeah. And none of these arrows, crap, have pennies in them. And so I give you a small perspective by playing in barefoot like I said I would.